Welcome from my side as well. My name is Marius Butz and I'm currently studying computer science at Karlsruhe University of Applied Sciences with a focus on machine learning. I wrote a paper together with Daniel Hepperle, PhD student at Karlsruhe University of Applied Sciences and the University of Hohenheim, and Matthias Wölfel, professor at Karlsruhe University of Applied Sciences and the University of Hohenheim. I'm very pleased to be here and to welcome you to the lecture Influence of Visual Appearance of Agents on Presence, Attractiveness and Agency in Virtual Reality. VR gives us the possibility for a wide range of visual representations for agents. Even situation-dependent appearances are conceivable. Furthermore, interactions can be designed that are only possible in VR, as they contradict the laws of physics, for example. All these possibilities finally lead us to the question of which representation might work best. Let us now move on to work with similar themes. In a study by Felici et al., female-looking, male-looking and abstract agents were compared with each other. Here we can see the different agents used in the study. What's striking is that all the agents were held in a constant design except for minimal cues to suggest male or female gender, such as color, hairstyle, and presence or absence of eyelashes. The results show that human-looking agents were rated higher than abstract agents. In addition, female-looking agents were preferred over male-looking agents. They also found that gender stereotypes play a role in the expectations of an agent, even in those cases when gender cues are minimal. Lee et al. Investigated whether user performance depends on agent appearance, in their case an actual tutor in the appearance of a human versus 3D annotations on 3 different tasks: navigating through maze, stretching exercises and controlling a crane. Here you can see the 3 tasks used with the 2 forms of instruction. They found that the 3D annotations had a higher precision in the maze task and a lower execution time in the stretching exercises. Regarding user behavior, it was found that participants in the tutoring group attempted to mimic the behavior of the virtual tutor, while participants in the annotation group attempted to meet the conditions of success. A study by Tor et al. Examined differences in reliability on different emotional expressions. In their case, smiling face, positive voice modulation, or both, for cartoonish on the left image and a photorealistic agent on the right image. For this purpose, a hypothetical accident scenario was created, where participants were asked to rank 6 functional objects according to their importance for survival. Subsequently, the virtual agent, originally intended to serve as a navigation assistant, suggested a different order of the user-rated items, and the participants were asked to create a final order dependent on the agent's suggestions. The results show that the agent's style was not the most influential feature, and instead trust is increased for an agent with congruent, neutral expression. At this point, we must mention that all these studies that have already been carried out took place on monitor and not in VR, and therefore do not necessarily apply to VR, as effects such as the uncanny valley are more pronounced in VR. To answer the question mentioned at the beginning, at least partially, we have put forward 3 central hypotheses. So the first, presence is influenced by the type of visual appearance of the agent. Second, attractiveness is influenced by the type of visual appearance of the agent. And last, sense of agency is influenced by the type of visual appearance of the agent. Let's talk about study design. To get an overview of the VR experience used, we have prepared a short video for you. A more detailed explanation will follow. We have implemented 4 different representations of an agent. On the left in the first line is the variant without the visual representation. To the right is an object that speaks to the player and, in keeping with the theme, has the shape of its zeppelin. On the bottom left is the same agent but with humanizations such as eyes, mouth and ears. To the right we can see a human being. All agents share the identical soundtrack and differ only in their visual appearance. In addition to the 4 agents, we have created 4 scenarios in the theme of the construction hall of the historical airship Hindenburg, in which the user participates actively or passively. In the first scene, the user is only passively present and lets the agent guide him through the scene. The 3 pictures with the red rectangles mark the positions where the player is standing. In the first active scene, the user has the task of controlling a crane to move the box marked in blue to the destination marked in yellow. He receives the instruction beforehand from the corresponding agent. In the second scene, the player is supposed to repair the outer skin of the Hindenburg with a piece of cloth and the staples to fix it, as we can see on the image on the right. And in the last scene, the outer skin is finally to be painted with a brush in alpine white. In order to quantify the 3 main points we wanted to measure, we decided to use already established questionnaires. For presence, we used the iGroup Presence questionnaire, which uses the aggregated components spatial presence, involvement, experienced realism and general presence. Visual attractiveness is measured with the Attractive 2 and contains the components hedonic quality stimulation, hedonic quality identity and pragmatic quality. Agency is determined with the sense of agency scale questionnaire and is divided into positive sense of agency and negative sense of agency. These 3 questionnaires combined have a total of 48 items. There are 60 combinations from the 4 agents shown in the 4 scenes. Each participant played at least 2 and a maximum of 4 of these combinations and then answered the entire questionnaire. A total of 29 people took part in the study, 11 men and 80 women, most of whom are students or employees at Karlsruhe University of Applied Sciences. As many participants also completed all 4 scenes, a total of 112 observations could be made and therefore 28 for each agent. The average age was 29. Let us now turn to the results. In this table we can see mean values of the aggregated component scaled between 1 and 6. The standard deviation has been omitted for better readability. As the mean values suggest, an analysis of variance did not reveal any significant differences in presence. In the case of attractiveness, on the other hand, major differences can be seen immediately. These differences were confirmed in a Kruskal-Wallis test, and significant differences were found between the groups disembodied and object, or anthropomorphic object and human. But differences between anthropomorphic object and object were also significant, as we can see by the superscript numbers. The superscript numbers mark significant differences between the column in which they are placed and the column with the number as the index. As with presence, the same applies to agency, and no significant differences can be confirmed here. Finally, let us return to our research hypothesis mentioned at the beginning. Thus, the two hypotheses on the influence on presence or agency can be rejected, while the differences on attractiveness were measurable but not clear enough between all groups and for all components. From this, we conclude that visual representation has no influence on presence or agency in our study. However, it can be said that anthropomorphic objects are preferred over non-anthropomorphic objects. Furthermore, disembodied agents usually perform worse than agents with visual representation, which was already noticed during the study, as subjects frequently researched for a conversation partner in the scene. These findings have implications for future work, as disembodied agents can be implemented without negatively affecting presence or agency. Furthermore, it is not necessary to implement a character, such as a human, if presence or agency are important. This way, the budget can be better allocated to more relevant parts of the VR experience. If you have decided on an abstract object and also want to shine with the visual form, it is advisable to add humanizations without much effort. Thank you for your time.